Hi, everybody. Welcome and happy Green Sports Day. We are so happy that you're here with us today. We can't even stand it. In 2016, President Obama officially recognized October 6th as Green Sports Day and has celebrated the power of sports to drive environmental action and community sustainability at any age. Today, we're stepping into the locker room for a powerhouse next gen huddle that's bigger than the game itself. And I'm Diana Dean with the Green Sports Foundation, and we are playing for the next generation. We're launching our Playing for the Next Generation campaign starting November 5th, and we were beyond excited about this with the New England Patriots and Kraft Sports and Entertainment to bring next-gen fan engagement, sports and sustainability career days, and innovation huddles nationwide. Big thanks to the New England Patriots and Kraft for teaming on this vision. Together, we're creating a pathway for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. We kicked off the foundation rookie team last week, and we cannot be more inspired or prouder of them. Today, you'll meet 2 of the 11 rookies today. Calling in rookies, feel free to join us. We're looking for more rookies and coaches. Big thanks to Dina Ciampa and Tommy McPherson as coaches for their support and leadership in this effort. History's proven, time and time again, it's always the next generation that leads the charge. From social movements to innovation to climate action, it's next-gen visionaries who change the playbook and move the world forward. As the educational and community impact arm to the Green Sports Alliance, the foundation brings the next-gen sports and sustainability collaboration, fan engagement, and education, and the fun to innovate, activate, and accelerate the change we need right now to support our next generation. Today, the sports world's joining the legacy, connecting leagues, teams, and venues with the passion, vision, and power of Gen Z and Gen Alpha, our fans, athletes, and leaders of tomorrow. So get ready to connect, collaborate, and commit as we bring the game day energy to sustainability strategy of the future. Drop your questions in the chat, and here we go. Out of the gate. Let's start with you, Tommy. Good to see you, man.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Tommy, back first. I'm from working with Kraft Sports Entertainment at Gillette Stadium, which covers the Patriots and Revolution. And yeah, I'm working as a stadium operations associate, working on everything sustainability. And Dina couldn't make it today, and she might be around a little later. She's running around with FIFA as we prepare also for the World Cup coming up. But yeah, I work with her on sustainability at the stadium, and we're just excited to be here to talk about next gen for sustainability. Yeah.
Thanks, Tommy. And great win last night.
Thank you.
Should we throw it over to Dylan real quick to talk about that?
Gonna throw me under the bus.
Yeah.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dylan Marshall. I am a member of the brand new Green Sports Foundation rookie team. Incredibly excited to be here. Recently graduated from American University with my master's in global environmental policy, based in Washington, D.C., but from upstate New York. Big Bills fan, New York sports fan. So to the Patriots fans listening on the call, you got us this time, but it's a long season ahead. So we'll see you later in the season.
Power of fan engagement happening right there. So how about we throw it over to Robin?
Hi, everyone. Definitely a New England fan, whether it's Patriots, Bruins, Celtics, or Sox. And I'm the founder and executive director of Project Green Schools. We are honored to be here today, and we are excited to be engaging sports and athletics with our 6,500 schools each year across the nation. Thrilled to be here, guys.
So happy to have you, Robin. Shamar, you're up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Shamir Holmes from the Connecticut Sun. I'm the manager of community relations, and I'm just excited to be a part of the conversation. We don't own our facility, but we do a lot of work in making sure people are informed and that people understand the power in being sustainable, and in regards to saving it for our future. We really care, and we want to make sure that we tie sports and sustainability together. So shout out to Green Sports Alliance, you, Diana, and Craig. We're just excited to be here, and we're looking forward to doing the work.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you. Brooke, tossing it over to you.
Hi, I'm Brooke. I'm also part of the Green Sports Foundation rookie team, and so excited to talk about that later on. I just graduated with my MBA from the University of Vermont's Sustainable Innovation MBA program in August, and am now looking to get into the sports world, and so I'm really excited to be part of the Green Sports Alliance. Thanks for having me, Diana.
We're so happy to have you, Brooke. Thanks. And there's, like I mentioned, there's 11 rookies so far. Call out for rookies, shout out for rookies. We're very excited, and it's an amazing team. We're having our second meeting this week, and then we're going to go move that further. So Craig, taking it to you.
Hey, Diana. Hey, everybody. My name is Craig Chase Jr., Chief Operations and Strategy Officer at the Green Sports Foundation, based in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Shout outs to the OKC Thunder, but originally from Cincinnati. And so dealing with the pain from the Bengals on a weekly basis. So hopefully we can get some rings like the Patriots sooner or later. But irrespective of that, super excited to be working with Diana and everybody here to help officially launch our Playing for the Next Generation campaign and supporting our rookies and our rookie team.
Thanks, Craig. Couldn't have done it without you, man. So first out of the gate, we're going to do hot seat just to get everybody fired up and talking. So here's the question. Imagine you're drafting your dream team, but instead of players, you're picking sports and sustainability superpowers. If you could pick one superpower for your favorite team this season, what would it be and why? Starting with your favorite team. Who wants to take it?
I'll go ahead.
Yay. Go for it, Dylan.
So my favorite team is the Buffalo Bills, but for my superpower, I don't think that it would apply particularly to the team, but more so fan engagement. I would want to teleport to any professional sports game, match, whatever, internationally. So zero carbon emissions, travel, but get to go see a match. That would be my superpower.
All right. Goosebumps on that one. Way to go, Dylan. That's awesome. How about Brooke?
Today I'm repping my New York Rangers. I've worn this jersey to every game since pretty much 8th grade. So, and my superpower would, for the Rangers, other than winning some games this season, be to utilize how the Zamboni picks up and reuses water, because this might be a fun fact. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but my job in high school was actually a Zamboni driver. So I feel like if I get back on that horse and figure out how to retrofit it, I could make it work.
Love it. Oh my gosh, love it. Any way to conserve water, right?
Definitely.
Robin, what's your superpower?
So my team would definitely be the Boston Bruins. And I remember seeing Andrew Ferentz at the first Green Sports Day at the White House. We also used Andrew Ferentz's pledge across Project Green Schools. And so I would say the superpower would be like, think it and have it. Whatever equipment you need. I remember Andrew had people doing transportations, needing water bottles, doing collections, pickups. So I think whatever equipment you need to advance your sustainable mission, if you think it, you have it.
Awesome, Robin. Shamir, what do you think?
So I'm here repping the Connecticut Sun. So for me, I think the superpower will be providing light to anywhere there's darkness. I mean, there are all kinds of electricity issues. I know in the city of Bridgeport here in Connecticut, just people being able to pay their power bills and it's just a lot happening, right? So just being able to provide that solar light where they can reserve energy and preserve energy and just be well lit. I know that it's a safety issue too, where some of the basketball courts in the communities in the lower end neighborhoods, they don't have light, right? So now if we're providing light, it's giving them well lit areas, and it's a safety issue. So I don't know, providing light is a superpower to me in many ways. So physically and also in a natural too, just being positive energy and bring just wellness to communities all over.
Well,
My
and Shamir,
pageant answer. That was a pageantry answer, right? But I mean, that's where I am right now in my life.
oh, you know what I just heard from you? I just heard your solar idea for next gen. So that links directly to renewable energy and powering that light anywhere they need it, and in enhancing the athlete themselves, right? Beautiful. I don't want to let that cat out of the bag. You got to do that. Tommy, what do you think?
Yeah, so Patriots, of course, is the team I'm repping, and put the league on notice last night, I think. But yeah, I think the superpower, that's something Dina and I talk about all the time, is if we could actually make all the waste from 65,000 fans disappear right when it goes in the bin, not disappear in the way that, going to a landfill or incinerated, but actually just evaporates out of sight.
Love it. It's like poof, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe
right
there
away.
is no waste, right, Tommy? Maybe there's
Yeah,
no
no
waste at
waste.
all.
No
Right?
waste.
Okay, so Patriots all the way. The superpower would be for Gen Z and Gen Alpha to have the ability to turn every game into a viral, high energy, world game changing moment as incredible influencers and on sustainability in sports, like putting the voice behind it so it becomes next gen jobs, right? Creating that future of the connection between marketing and sustainability, but for the right reasons, like making waste disappear, turning on the lights, whatever it might be. Well, thanks everybody. Great job on the hot seat. Okay, let's dive into the conversation. And Tommy, stick with us on this one. And Shamer, please, you guys are up next. So in the big picture, how does your organizations define sustainability beyond the field?
Yeah, I can kick it off. Yeah, I think, well, first of all, for our sustainability program, we have 6 pillars that guide our sustainability program at the stadium. So those are climate protection, transportation, materials management, workforce development, sustainable growth, and community engagement. So really, of course, obviously that's the technical way of thinking of how we, define sustainability for our team and how we work at the stadium. But also, I think all of that just comes down to the togetherness of our team, because for me, sustainability, of course, relates to everything economic, social, but I feel like that also expands to every department at our stadium that we work with every day. And we have our best results when everyone's working together. And I feel that sustainability is defined by how we all just come together and we're working for a future for what comes next.
Decided better, Tommy. Shamer, you're up.
Yeah, and for us at the Sun, again, with us not owning our facility, we're trying to do whatever we can to make sure people are very cognizant and very mindful of the space that we're in. We do want to preserve our communities. New London County is a beautiful space. We're by the water. We are run by a tribe, so our situation is different. We love our land. We play in a casino, so it's so many factors where we're not just your average sports team. We have to be mindful of our space and the land that we're on. So for us, educating people as best as we can, making sure that we show them ways to be sustainable, to live a greener life. And I think for us, it's more about the hard work and collaborating with people in organizations like Green Sports Alliance and Green Sports Alliance Foundation. Shout out to Sustainable CT. We just did, in celebration of Green Sports Day, a tour of a net zero energy school in Manchester, Connecticut. So that was amazing. The link just went live on YouTube about 15 minutes ago. So I'm going to encourage you all to check it out. So again, Green Sports Day, we're taking it to the next level. Even though we're new to the Alliance itself, we're doing the work as best as we can and just making sure those down the line, the young boys and girls who look up to the Sun, not just on the court, but off the court, they have the resources they need to be green and to be sustainable and to really live it.
That's so cool, Shamer. We're going to have to do a whole other webinar on net zero schools. Tossing it back to Tommy. Tommy, can you share an initiative that's coming up that you feel could really impact the venue itself of Gillette?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so when it comes to like community engagement and what we're talking about today with Green Sports Day and the next generation, Gillette Stadium is hosting a next generation's career day for careers in sports and STEAM opportunities. So we're going to partner with Project Green Schools and Green Sports Alliance Foundation to bring students together, about 75 to 100 students, to talk about the work that we do at the stadium, the work that comes together to run the stadium, and then also just give them an opportunity to advocate for themselves and learn and really have that real experience at the stadium. Because I know when it comes to me, like, I knew I loved sports and I knew I had a passion for sustainability, but I didn't really know how I was going to combine the two, because in a broad sense, they didn't really connect in my head at the time. But when I really started looking into it and then being able to go to stadiums and see whether it just be signage about recycling, I realized that maybe there could be a career in this. So, and in my experience in, say, high school, like going on field trips and seeing things related to sustainability, and now seeing how it could be at a stadium and bringing students now in my position working, being able to do that again for new students is it's a cool opportunity, and we're going to be able to launch that on November 5th.
We can't thank you enough for teaming on that one. And just a little background on how this all happened. We've been doing some deep research at the foundation around fan engagement, and we're seeing that, you know, the Gen Alpha specifically, it looks like it's about a 68% decrease in liking sports, and football in particular. So we look at that from a business standpoint, but we also look at it from a health standpoint, and then also from a you know, sports standpoint. And the majority of people we've spoken to are like, how can they not like sports? It's true. It's falling off. So that represents a big risk to Major League Sports overall. Another piece that we learned with Dina and Tommy in talking with community relations, the head of community relations, Donna said, listen, I've been here for a very long time. I'm a grandma. You know what they need is they need jobs. So we started looking more deeply into trades. And what we're realizing right now is by 2030, 41% of trades retire. What are we going to do about it? So we are demystifying our plan is to launch 8 to 10 huddles a year across the nation, to focus in on careers in sustainability in sports. And Tommy, you couldn't be a better, and Shamar and everybody on this conversation could not be better representation of what we can do versus what we can't do. So thank you, Tommy, for that one. What is one bold move you wish all sports organizations would adopt to protect the planet? And that goes to everybody. Let's launch that one and then get into the specifics of the rookies and what we're doing, and then education next. Anyone want to take that? Like, what's the big?
Yeah, I'll keep going if
keep going, Tommy. Yeah.
No, I think honestly, going off of what we're talking about today, I think a bold move for all sports organizations would be hiring young people. I mean, it's not that, you know, everyone, it's a group effort all around, but I feel like the opportunity to hire people, younger people that can work in tandem, and then, you know, a lot of sustainability programs at stadiums or with other companies are newer. So, you know, being able to hire young people to really build and grow with a program, I feel like is an important opportunity to have for people coming out of school or people that are just rookies to sustainability, whether the age doesn't matter. But yeah, working with the senior leadership to then grow with a program, I think that would be a bold move to keep hiring younger people and keep growing.
You got to pay it forward, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing everybody has agreed to, just a heads up to listeners. We've all agreed to pay it forward, which is really interesting because I think about my generation paying it forward to this generation, and then Tommy and Shamara and everybody here paying it forward to the next generation, especially the Gen Alpha. So this is a generational team effort overall, which is pretty cool. All right, we're going to jump over to Gen Z and fan engagement with Dylan, and then also Brooke. So I don't know who wants to kick it off, but I want to hear why you're excited about being part of the rookie team with the Green Sports Alliance Foundation.
Yeah, I can kick it off a bit about the rookie team. So we're a group of young professionals who love sports and sustainability, and we're coming together to work on creative ways to grow fan engagement. Like you were talking about, Diana, it's falling off now. And although some of us can't imagine not loving sports, we got to continue and get more people into and engaged. And we want more people to join us. So if you're interested in joining the rookie team, we'd love to have you. And everyone on the team has different areas of expertise and passion, but together we all just want to use these games we love to save the place that we live, this planet. So, and as our generation starting to become the consumers, workers, etc., like we're using our time and our money to support organizations we feel are walking the talk. So taking all our different knowledges and passions and putting it in one room to see what happens.
Well, you know, Brooke, you're touching on something really, really important, everything you said, but something that really jumps out right now is investing in what you believe in. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah,
Especially from a Gen Z standpoint?
Yeah, I think that's my MBA talking. I think of everything in terms of, like how are we using our dollars to kind of invest and, as teams, foundations, companies, et cetera, continue to invest in the missions that, consumers care about. Those are the organizations and the teams that Gen Z, Gen Alpha, et cetera, is going to follow into the future. So, with Tommy and Shamir talking about what their organizations are doing, it's a way that they're going to continue to engage new fans, and it's a new way to keep thinking.
Right, right. That's so critical, especially if you think about the three elements of sustainability, right? Social, environmental, and financial. So using the financial arm to stick with the true believers for your future, so important. Dylan, jump in. What are you thinking?
Yeah. No, I think, a lot of times I say sustainability is a lot more than just windmills and solar panels, right? It's about accessibility. How do you cut costs, reduce inefficiencies, but maximize community impact? And I think, Shamir, you talked about some of that community stuff earlier. And when I think about sustainability, especially in the sports realm, there's so many parallels to public, private industries when it comes to operations and partnerships. And I think with young people, if they're not watching sports, they have something that they're entertained by, or everyone knows, has their an athlete, or at least they watch the Super Bowl. I think, with the announcement of Bad Bunny doing the Super Bowl performance, there's a community out there that might not watch the NFL, but they're going to tune in because, maybe their favorite artist is performing. So I think because Gen Z is so multicultural and we have so many, different backgrounds, languages that, represent our generation, it's important to have that internationalization.
Love it. Love it, Dylan. Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, it is the future generation driving this, if we really think about it. So how do you use your voice to influence, teams around climate and social impact through sports? And how would you like to see that happen?
I can keep building on that. I think, when it comes to using your voice, everyone's got a cell phone, laptop, social media, everyone is always on their phones. My screen time is probably a little bit higher than I'd like to admit, but getting the word out there through education and meeting people where they're at, finding common ground, finding what unites people together, and then, building that bridge to help someone understand what you're trying to accomplish. And I think when it comes to a community, young people, whether you live in a rural part of the country or you're, downtown like I am in Washington, D.C., there's something that kind of unites us together. I mean, the Washington Nationals here, I live right down the street from the baseball stadium. And what they've done is they've taken musicians to come and do a concert series. So people go, they buy tickets to the game, but they go and listen to their favorite artists. So helping people kind of maybe combine industries, whether it's music, sports, engineering, sustainability, there's something that kind of is for everyone when it comes to athletics. So I think just finding that bridge and common ground to bring people together.
I'm going to throw one more question at you there, Dylan, because another thing that you're touching on. So if you were running a team, right? You're the owner, team owner, what's the first sustainability initiative you would launch that brings that community together?
Yeah, I mean, well, first, if I was the owner, I'd really want to look inside. I think looking internal is important to look at, what are the opportunities? What are some things that you are doing already? And then what can you get better at? But when it comes to initiatives, I think reaching out to universities, local high schools. I mean, I think about maybe track and field, right? If you have something that is not Olympic, level usage anymore, you can donate that to a local high school or middle school. You can help, give equipment to young people. So I think there's so many different opportunities and possibilities. It's just looking internally and then understanding how you can provide value and really give back externally. That's kind of at the core of what we're trying to accomplish here.
Love it. Love it. Hey, Tommy, I want to throw that one over to you. Sorry, hot seat moment again. Being inside working with Kraft and the Patriots and the Rev, what's your take on it? What would be your, if you were Robert Kraft, what's the first sustainability initiative you would launch, and how would that connect community?
I think what Dylan just touched on is we have, all of our offices are within the stadium. So all the conference rooms and then all the football equipment is all in here. And we see a lot of hard to recycle items coming to, people stop by Dina's desk and drop an item that they don't know how to recycle. And we have to figure out a way how to either donate it or find a recycling hauler. But I feel like if we would be able to grow and expand our program for donations, whether it's, office or furniture or sports equipment, and then also just every other hard to recycle item, if we just grow that initiative.
Yeah, yeah, that really gives you the life cycle of a product too, right? And then should there be a stopgap of it coming into the operation so that you can come up with an alternative even? So yeah, no, very cool. Brooke, I'm going to throw this one back to you. What kind of initiatives would you make more exciting for next gen to engage?
I think I also would go the waste route. It's just such an easy one to, well, sorry, not easy, Tommy, not gonna say that, but it's a very visual thing. Everyone knows you go to a game and you put your trash in the trash can. How do we get people involved with like a reusable, for example? I remember when I came to the Green Sports Science conference this summer, it was like the reusable cups, and they had these bright yellow bins everywhere to go put it back in. I know that company's been working to get into a lot of different stadiums. So it is, how do you kind of gamify? How do you engage and get people to engage with your initiative, even if it's something like recycling a cup? And I think a lot of people, any generation, is feeling overwhelmed by the climate crisis, but at the same time want to do something about it. So seeing teams step up and just be like, hey, we're trying too, putting up posters and like making sure people are understanding that they're trying these initiatives and bridging that gap of doing and showing the fans and helping them understand what's happening behind the scenes, kind of pulling that curtain back, creates a lot of solidarity and trust. Because I think for our generation, that authenticity and like the fact that we want to believe what teams are saying, I feel like is a way to help create that engagement between the fan and the team.
An emphasis on hiring young people. I think people ask
Definitely.
all the time, well, what does Gen Z or Gen Alpha think about this issue? We'll give them a seat at the table. I think that that's incredibly important. And obviously we are still building experience, and we need to learn about the industry as we grow. But I think having that sort of communication, just having open communication with young people is so important, and having them at the table.
And how are we supposed to build that experience if you won't hire us, you know?
And we're a lot cooler than AI. I think we've got, better personalities than typing stuff into ChatGPT. So we like to have a good time too.
Okay, so here's another one. About 2.5 years ago, NFL Green, good friend of mine, Jack Gross, said to me, Dad, what are we gonna do? Gen Z and Gen Alpha don't like football. What are we gonna do about that? And I said, well, Jack, they love their phones, they love to be influencers, and they love sustainability. So why don't we mix it all in? And we started talking about that 2.5 years ago, and here we are today talking about this. So the question back to our Gen Zers, and anybody jump in at any time, how do we influence through sports? Like we have the Tuesday nines, like for example, with the Red Sox. I don't know, a whole lot of the teams that are doing that, but you can go in there, pay $9, get a drink and a hot dog, or and be in there seeing the game. What do you guys think?
Well, I can speak, I think, from when I was in college. Any opportunity to get free food was something that I would definitely show up for. I'm not saying that teams, leagues, venues have to give away, free pizza and stuff, but having themed nights, whether it's a jersey giveaway that highlights maybe like a local artist in the city, or a local creator. I think having like I mentioned earlier, with musicians, or finding things that people are really passionate about. It could be video games. There's this whole industry of esports that's just blowing up with younger people. Um, so the theme nights are definitely helpful, and just being creative, and finding new ways to get people in the door. Typically, Gen Z and young people, if we live in urban areas or local cities, it's not difficult for us to get to the stadium or the venue. We can just hop on a bike or hop on the metro, or even walk to the stadium. So if it's only a 15-minute walk, I know that all you have to do is kind of make people interested in getting to the stadium. They're going to buy tickets. They're going to show up. You just have to entice them to get there.
Love it. Love it. All right, Brooke, I got another one for you and Tommy. So if you were an influencer in the stands, what would you influence and how would you tie sports and sustainability together?
Oh boy, that's
You
a good
think
one.
right?
I think if I were in the stands and trying to influence around sustainability, I think it would be something around what Dylan said, and it's kind of the individual part of it. Like, how did I get to the game? Took the train, walked, took the bus, like using public transportation, and then, at the game, making sure that I'm not putting a plastic bottle in the trash can or, continuing to just do all the little things because then you take that and multiply it by 65,000 people in Gillette Stadium, and then you multiply that by every game of the season across every team, across every league of every sport, and all of a sudden, those few things that you did are not so small anymore, and it's a really, it makes it feel a lot less like one of these big crazy problems.
Yeah, yeah, that leads us. Hey, Tommy, I'm going to throw this one over to you.
Yeah.
Part of the huddle that we're having, it's the Sports and Sustainability Career Day and Fan Engagement at Gillette with Kraft and the Patriots, is to have a tour of the operation. And so that you can really see the behind the scenes of how sustainable the Patriots and Gillette really is. They're one of the leaders of the pack. So tell us a little bit about what we'll see when we're going through the stadium and how that could be a potential influencer for our next gen in the stands during a game.
Yeah. First, let's jump back on the influence. Just this, our last home game for the Patriots. I was standing in the plaza pre-game for 4 hours at a table with trivia questions based around sustainability and a big cutout piece of cardboard that we cut into a jersey that said Green Sports Day on it. And we asked people to write something that they could do to, better protect the environment, or something they could do at the game today to push for sustainability and how they could celebrate Green Sports Day. And that's a great way to engage with people and influence, just to have some awareness when they're coming to events. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to the tours for both of our event and then other ones we've held over the last year that I've been here, it's just really cool for people that are never really behind the scenes of a stadium. I surely hadn't really been until I started working here. Seeing just the operations, the flow of traffic, the flow of things, even on a non-game day, there's golf carts zipping by at, in the tunnel, in the service tunnel. And yeah, seeing where the flow of how the trash gets down, where we're sorting our waste on a game day, where we're bringing compost bins, and how we are designating food that can be donated to the local community after the game. So yeah, hopefully we can see a lot of that on tours here, and it'd be really special to see behind the scenes. It's really cool.
It is really cool. It's always amazing to look around and be like, wow, a team, a league, or a venue is that invested. Super cool. So let's shift gears a little bit into education. Everybody keep throwing out your ideas. I'm going to throw it over to Craig to start it, and then over to Robin. Craig, can you talk about our pillars just a little bit on where we're headed and how education plays such an important role in this?
Of course, Di. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Can you see it?
We sure can.
Perfect. So just to run through this really quickly, at the Green Sports Foundation, we have three pillars that we're building our foundation on. First of all is engaging. We have this goal, it's not a reach, to contact 1 million next-gen fans by 2030 by leveraging the power of sports for environmental education and advocacy. And this is the true power of sports. Sports is the great connector. I mean, we could disagree on a million things, even our favorite sports teams, but sports does provide a great runway to push forth, our desired mission, vision, and values. The second pillar is about activating, because engaging is not enough. You actually have to put in work, and we're going to be doing that starting off on November 5th with the Patriots by putting on our first next generation sustainable career sports day with the Patriots and Kraft. So that's an example of how we plan to activate. And then last but not least, you can't be stuck in the past. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. That doesn't work. And if you want change, you have to change. And a lot of change comes through innovation. So we're going to do that through these 3 pillars. We're going to do that by connecting with our rookies, our coaches, industry leaders. And this is how we're going to deliver the impact we're going to set forth with the foundation.
Thanks, Craig. Dig a little bit deeper, if you wouldn't mind, into like how this all came about. It took some time with us. Scott Jenkins isn't able to join us today because he's at Penske speaking about Green Sports Day, and he's normally with us. So we've been building partnerships. Robin, we're gonna bring you on in just one second, and some really important strategic partnerships. And it's been nothing but incredibly exciting. There's so much. It's the momentum is building. Feels like we're getting ready for a big game. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, the whole thing we always discuss with everybody is creating a win-win partnership. When you think about that, I served in the Peace Corps, and one of the best tools you can do to create a sustainable value-adding project is to do a community diagnostic, where you figure out what the community and the stakeholders want, and then you also have to match that with what you can provide. And so we've mapped out an ecosystem of partners. We understand our value. We've developed that it. And so by partnering with people such as Robin and Project Green Schools, we can bring the power of sports and entertainment and educational curriculums through the Green Sports Foundation, and then partner with Project Green Schools, who has access nationwide to so many K through 12 entities, so that we can create these value-adding activations as we've discussed on this call.
Yep. Thanks, Craig. Robin, I'm sending it over to you right now. We've known each other for a very long time and have seen this grow. First of all, tell everybody about Project Green Schools and our partnership.
Well, we're very excited to be partnering on the alignment of sports sustainability, education, and innovation. You've heard from Tommy and Craig and Diana about our upcoming event on November 5th with the Green Sports and Sustainability Career Day with Gillette and at Gillette Stadium, and learning about operations. We've been talking about waste, community collaboration, and all of those things. Additionally, Project Green Schools has a sports pathway. And so Project Green Schools and the Green Sports Alliance Foundation together created a Green Sports Pledge that can be found on our websites. And we'll be sharing more information about how you can take the pledge, take action, and engage in your own school. So every school has multiple sports teams housed right inside their own community, as well as connecting outside with the greater community. So we're hoping that teams take that pledge, activate in your own communities, and bring that initiative much, much wider. Again, we talked career connections, right? So should I jump into how this would look in a community, Diana, with CTE and how to get engaged? So I think folks know, like, career clusters. We talked about a career day. So career clusters and career pathways change from state to state. But we have the sports pathway. We're aligning together across our organizations on community collaboration, whether you're looking at waste, water, transportation, innovation. There's a number of ways that schools can get involved, and school teams, again, partnering with local community sports teams. And we're just super excited about the events, the collaboration, the innovation, the education. And then Project Green Schools, at the end of our school year or school years, we bring in honoring. And so Craig and Diana came to our annual Green Difference Award ceremony last year at the Capitol. And so we hope to be honoring lots of teams, leagues, teams, venues, athletes, athletic directors, and schools and communities that really get behind and are leading the way.
Robin, you couldn't have said it better. Let's dig a little bit deeper into the nexus between getting, so we talked a little bit about demystifying trades and how we're actually seeing, and what seeing firsthand is how trades has always been perceived as a blue collar sort of job. we're demystifying it and turning it into a white collar. I had a good friend that told me his son, he pushed his son in to get into HVAC, for example. And I think he started it about 3 years ago. And I think he just turned like 30, and he's now making $2.5 billion because reason why? There's limited trades there. So if you think about the Gillette Stadium or any stadium, league team venue stadium, the venues run like cities in themselves, right? We need marketing, we need HR, we need, electricians, we need trades employees to make the whole operation run. So that's at the venue level, but that's how cities run as well. So there's all these job opportunities out there for the next gen to backfill or jump ahead, leapfrog, and use technology in the trades world. And who knows technology better than Gen Z and Gen Alpha, right? So that's the nexus that we're seeing there. Robin, also talk about sort of the dignitaries that we've invited to join us. We're connecting the dots between government, craft, the Patriots, sports, and our next gen. But talk about the value of bringing in government as well.
I think you keep hearing the theme of collaboration. So without giving away the names of the individuals who will be joining us, and we're super excited. We just participated in the first Sustainability Day at the Massachusetts State House. So we are collaborating with the chair and others who are very vested in sustainability, top down, and out in your communities, as well as Massachusetts agencies. We were talking with the Department of Environmental Protection earlier today, but you had talked about blue collar and white collar jobs. And so in our space, we often talk about green collar jobs and green schools and green jobs. There's a lot of alignment that happens with STEM. And that's been something that, folks have talked about in Massachusetts for probably over 15 years since Governor Patrick created, I think, all these pathways for the green economy in Massachusetts. But that's something where Massachusetts, California, New York, Maryland, there are green schools programs where this is part of the culture. This is part of everyday living, and within our organization and within the CTE schools, the agricultural schools, you have a pipeline of students that this isn't just an add-on. This is something that we all is near and dear to our hearts. So students are the next generation, right? We keep talking about that so they are we're working on solar panels. We are training a school right now in Brockton High School. We have a collaboration building out the next generation of EV technicians. So students today think this way. They are inspired. They're integrating technology for a healthier environment and for a healthier future and a healthier tomorrow. Our agricultural schools, same thing, integrating STEM. And then you also hear about STEM and STEAM and eSTEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math. In addition to aligning, I think, between Gillette sports and entertainment, and Project Green Schools has our sports pathway as well as the arts pathway and involving the arts into that integration with STEM. And then we worked with US EPA on launching eSTEM, so connecting the environment. That's what we all represent in sustainability. We have folks like Brooke and Tommy who have gone into college career paths. So that didn't exist 18 years ago. And now there are colleges, higher education, there are degrees and certifications you can come out of these trade schools and be certified and go right into the workforce like the person you were talking about. But this is a group of folks, this is a passionate, bubbled up space where we are shaping the next generation. We are connecting the dots to internships, to opportunities, and to build that future green economy and green workforce, starting in your schools and communities.
Amen. Amen to that one, Robin. And so let's throw that back to Tommy, Dylan, and Brooke. We've got about, I don't know, 12 minutes left, and Shamar too. Like jump in, and let's hear your thinking around this as well, based on this collaborative effort between sports, sustainability, education, and Gen Z. What do you guys need?
I think I can talk about this a little just because I was in this very specific program called SIMBA, Sustainable Innovation MBA. And it's really is emphasizing that sustainability throughout it. So you do all the standard MBA business classes, finance, accounting, econ, all at the same time, which was brutal. But there's this undertone of sustainability throughout it. So take an entrepreneurship class, but the twist is your company that you create has to have something sustainable. You have a marketing class, but again, you're marketing a product that has to be sustainable. And I think that that was a really interesting way to think about it because instead of thinking about sustainability as like a challenge, it was just something to incorporate. It became the baseline. I started not even thinking about it as something to add, it was just something that needed to be done. And so I think more programs just incorporating that into the day to day, like Robin's saying, the more that people are going to be thinking and innovating in the sports or in the sustainability area, whether that's sports or otherwise, without even thinking about it.
Love it, Brooke. Dylan, got something to say?
Yeah, I think, Gen Z, one of the issues about this generation, and I'm sure, with Generation Alpha as well, we're no longer in the position where we sit and read for 20, 30 minutes, an hour about an article or something like that. Typically you'll just see headline and then that's exactly what it is. So I think understanding like the marketing component as well and who you're marketing to and then how can you make that the most impactful. There's so many different I think online courses and things that are available for free, and all you just have to do is look for it and know that it exists. So it's our job as the rookie team and the Green Sports Foundation to put that information out there and make sure that it's information that can reach people and like I said earlier, meet them where they're at.
Beautiful.
Dylan, I was definitely gonna play off of that. It's all about exposure and making sure this information is accessible. It's one thing for sustainability to be the lead conversation in more affluent communities, where there's access to high level courses that revolve around that. But I really don't want to sleep on the STEM kids in cities like Bridgeport, the largest city in the state of Connecticut, but also the most disadvantaged when it comes to the investment that it takes to educate these youth, not just with the basic education, but when you hear about these phenomenal STEM programs, are they accessible to the students in the communities that need it the most? So for me, Dylan, you hit the nail on the head. Just accessibility, making this information available to students without the barriers. It shouldn't be an issue that a student who comes from a city like Bridgeport versus a Greenwich student, which is one of the most wealthiest communities in Connecticut, it shouldn't be a question. Everyone should be afforded that opportunity to learn how to live a more sustainable life and have access to courses and extracurricular programs that really help shape and form and expose these youth to these fields, these areas that will be the leading forces in the workforce. So it's all about educating them now. We don't have to wait until you're in college. It shouldn't just be an MBA program. It shouldn't just be post-secondary. Start it in elementary school when these students know the difference between recycling a bottle that says 5 cents or 10 cents versus what cannot be recycled or whatever the case. Like, they know how to do this now. They know how to sort. They know what the recycle bin looks like. So let's really dial it back and not make it a trivial issue. Let's start sooner.
I
Love
think
it.
Robin
Love it.
mentioned earlier about the government component. I think everything from a local government to a state government to the federal government, and getting the elected officials and representatives involved in this movement as well. Obviously, today's Green Sports Day and the proclamation by former President Obama, but one of my first internships that I ever had was on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. And, I think getting young people exposed to their government as well, understanding how local, state, and federal government operates. And then, some of these programs with, education departments or youth bureaus. I was also involved in youth and government when I was in high school. Getting to understand on a fundamental level how policy works is incredibly important. And I think once those partnerships are established, elected officials, they're here to serve the public, right? They're here to represent the people that elected them to get into office. So I think, having that partnership too, it's going to benefit everyone involved.
Absolutely. Hey, for listeners, if you would like to drop in some questions in the chat, please feel free. We're here to answer them. We'd love to hear from you. Tommy, I'm going to throw that one over to you. Thanks for that one, John. That's really critical.
Yeah, I think it's definitely also important. Like we've had some, as you mentioned before, some of the tours we have had in the past, giving the youth an opportunity to talk to us and to talk about things at the stadium. Like, for example, we had a group of high school kids here for a tour one day, and they asked, simple questions about why don't we have this related to sustainability? And, then we go back to the room, we go back on the drawing board and see how we can integrate it. Giving them opportunities to interact with people that are doing the job and then being able to build themselves. And then as we have this career day coming up, hopefully we can have more ideas and give them a platform, give them an opportunity to come up with great ideas because the youth is educated.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really interesting just to hear and again, for listeners, this is the momentum. This isn't the beginning. This is where we need to be. And it feels so strongly. I think, Brooke, you said it, we're building it literally into our DNA, if we think about it that way, right? This is not just the future, it's the now. And we need to move very quickly, especially with all the moving parts right now. It's full steam ahead. Why don't we take ourselves out with one word? Right? One word that you want to leave everybody with as we close this up, and then we'll just have a few parting words after that. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Thanks,
So
Craig.
my one word is presence. And that's because you have to be focused in the present to take the action you need to create a better future.
Love it. Next up. Robin, I'm looking at you.
I'm gonna go persistence. I know we've got presence and passion, but some of this work to really lift the projects, the work, the policy, the program, and all the initiatives that we're taking, it takes unbelievable commitment to get things done. So I'm gonna go persistence.
Thanks, Robin. Dylan.
Diana, I think this is the second time we've talked about this together, and I'm going to use the same word as I gave you the first time, and that's impact. I think impact at all levels, and like we talked about earlier with giving back, it's impact. It has to be at the core of everything that we're doing in this space because the communities are looking for support and they're looking for change, and we need to be the group that gives that impact.
Tamara.
So I'm gonna go with invest. Invest your time, invest your energy, your effort, all your resources behind this because it's not easy and it's not gonna happen tomorrow. So you have to be dedicated to investing money, time, talent, treasure, all of that is gonna be required. So invest is my word.
Love it. Brooke.
I'm gonna go with opportunity for two reasons. I feel like first, we have to look at this sustainability as not a challenge, but an opportunity. It's creating so many new pathways to innovate and create something new. And also, like Tamara was saying earlier, we need to create accessibility and opportunity around sustainability, but also around sports. There's a lot of barriers to entry in sports with just the sheer costs of getting into some and getting up to high levels within youth sports. So yeah, creating opportunity at all aspects of the game.
Love it. Tommy.
Brooke Stolman, I was gonna go opportunity, but in
Sorry,
a
Tommy.
sort of different sense of, I would say opportunity because I was hired as a stadium operations associate with no sustainability in the job description or nothing relating to that, but I made my job a sustainability job. So I think just giving yourself an opportunity and to get in and then work on what you want to work for.
Good one. Good one. Good one. Good one. I'm gonna go with voice, and I did say this to the rookie team. You guys have strong voices. Use them. Put it out there. Use our social media. This is all about generating inspiration, but also solutions. And we are fully committed to supporting you and paying it forward to you. And like we talked about earlier, paying it forward to the next generation after this as well. So we create this momentum and this movement going forward. So thanks you guys for being here so much today. Thank you for all the listeners who joined us. We can't wait to come back and give you updates on the rookie team and where we're headed with that. And Tommy, we can't thank you and Dina and the team at the, Craft Sports and Entertainment and the New England Patriots for having us kick this thing off between fan engagement and our Sports and Sustainability Career Day. And for those of you who are in the hood, join us. There's going to be some really fantastic panels on what it takes to run a stadium. And then also fan engagement, and then what their vision is to continue to move it forward. So it's local high schools, 5 from each school, 20 different schools. It's going to be pretty darn fascinating. So we invite next gen rookies to join us. We invite coaches, partners, sponsors, change makers to drive this forward and lead with us. This isn't individual. This isn't separate. This is all of us together collaboratively, financially, and from a visibility standpoint. As we inspire the next generation of fans and athletes, we need to co-create that workforce development, the education, the pipeline for future employees. That's our next generation. And we cannot wait. If you want to learn more, you can either reach out to Craig or myself, Diana at greensportsalliance.org or Craig at greensportsalliance.org. Thank you for joining us. Hashtag GSAF rookie team or Green Sports Foundation. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Green Sports Day. And thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. I guess we can all leave.
Yay. I
Alright.
see you.
Craig, I
Thank you
saw
so
your
much.
message, the questions and stuff. I didn't want to like touch anything because I'm also
Yeah.
using my phone for to sign in.
Oh,
So I was
okay.
like, I was nervous
Yeah.
if I went to the thing, it would like mess up the video, but I did see it. I don't know. All good.
Yeah. No, it's all good. All good. So thanks again. Y'all rocked it. And we'll debrief later this week.
Cool.
Cool. Sounds
Great.
All
good.
right.
Thanks
See
so
you.
much. Have a good day.